If you are complaining about you getting tired of people day by day having an up day because they won and a down day, get out. then maybe that coaching job is not for you, because you have to sustain that. You are the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, brother. So when you lose, it's going to be down bad. When you win, it's going to be parades in LA. If you're not used to that or tired of that, I do not think you should continue coaching. What is good? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the BES podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Those that are listening, those that are watching, I am here with my one co-host. Bella again is still not here. Shout out to Bella. And our boy EJ, unfortunately, he was busy with personal,
Bam, bam, bam.
I don't want to say issues, but personal issues, I guess. I'm here with Eli.
Yeah,
It's your boy Nefty. Everybody, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
yeah.
How are we feeling? How's it going?
Come on, baby. 103, baby. 103.
Oh,
I'm
yes, yes,
ecstatic.
yes.
I'm ecstatic.
That is a fact. We here at the
Come on.
BS podcast would like to thank everybody
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for helping us crack triple digits.
Yeah.
We are now at 103 subscribers plus more. You guys did knock it out of the park. I did say last week, can we get to 100 before we film this podcast or this
Yeah.
episode? And you guys beat it about a couple days ago. So kudos to you guys for helping
Yeah.
us out. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
If you haven't subscribed to the channel,
Please do.
make
Please
sure
do.
you do. It takes 2 seconds of your time, and
Yeah.
trust me, we will greatly appreciate it. It will help us out tremendously. As well as if you enjoy the video, make sure you guys like the video and share the video. Comment down below any questions, concerns, comments. Even if you want to talk that ish, hit the comment section.
Yeah.
Um, I don't have race trivia for you today, brother. I
Damn.
don't have race trivia for
Damn.
you, brother. And honestly, it's
Damn.
probably the best day that I don't, because it would have been
Damn.
just yourself.
Damn. I mean, I got a question for you.
Yo, talk to me.
I saw this, and it's great because you're wearing, nice low Celtics, but just a simple yes or no. I mean, you can clarify on it. What's going around town? OKC, and we got the Celtics. Both hot. Are we picking Jayson Tatum, or are we picking Shea?
Damn. I don't want to ask what's the criteria. I'm still gonna pick Jayson. I just like Shea. I think is a very, very, very great baller. If we are talking in the sense of who's having a better year, I think it's still Shea. MVP, I think it's still, if it's just these two. Obviously, we're not adding nobody else.
No, no one
I
else.
still think it's Shea. Now, in terms of who's probably benefiting or what team is benefiting most out of their play, I do think it's a wash,
It's pretty even.
because in the way now it is regular season, and obviously with the Celtics, and I didn't want to get into this early, but you asked
Come
though.
on, baby.
I know with the Celtics regular season, at this point it kind of doesn't matter because we get to the playoffs and it is what it is, right? But to me, I think Jayson did elevate, if not his game, I think his mentality elevated a little bit. Like, he looks a little bit more determined, more focused. Again, I do have to see that, or we have to see that. I guess everybody that's either Jayson Tatum or a Celtics fan, we need to see that in the playoffs. You tend to shy away a little bit in the playoffs, both you and Jaylen Brown. And both of you had a great game yesterday, by the way. They both scored over 30. So we need that a little bit more. Now, Porzingis did go down, so maybe that's the reason why, but whatever. We're not here for that. And in the sense of OKC, yes, Shea obviously scoring 30 plus helps them out. It looks like he's a leader to them, and it really helps them out. But I think they're benefiting more from the Giddies and the Chets and the Dorts and all those guys. Shea is just a very good supplemental piece for them that drops 30 day in and day out.
So my rebuttal or question is, do you see OKC? Because we see young teams come out all the time, every
Mhm.
year. Do you see OKC as a team like last year, where you had a team like Darren Fox leading, and you had the Kings?
Hmm.
Or do you see them like in the light when you had LeBron in Miami, but the Hawks were the number one team, like a young team, a group of individuals that knew their role, playing well, had one particular guy that stood out. Do you see them like that, where they're making their strides like the Kings and Hawks did at one point, and then they get to the playoffs and you kind of see their true colors? Do you think that's what's
Uh,
gonna happen? Um, and then my next question is, who has a better chance to then take the title?
I do see that from OKC. I think I don't think I've watched a few games from OKC. They are very impressive to watch. And I think this also goes for the Timberwolves being they're number one in the West. So we're talking about the number one and the number two seeds in the West. I think once they get to the playoffs, they're gonna quickly realize that the playoffs are a different beast, especially if they go up against the Denver's, Golden State, if they get in. You know, people, the Lakers, people that have been here, that have had the experience, understand what is the difference in the beast of the playoffs. They're gonna shine. Oh, the Suns, they're gonna shine bright just a little bit more than OKC, in my opinion. Uh, uh, Against OKC and the Timberwolves. I think they're gonna run into that wall once they get to the playoffs. Now, that doesn't mean that depending on their matchups, that doesn't mean that they can't win the first series.
Yeah.
They might be able to win the first series depending who they're match up to, because just like certain other sports like football and stuff like that, NBA, it tends to be a game of matchups sometimes. So I'm not too sure who. I mean, maybe I don't know who's sixth, seven, or eighth in the West right now, but I do think they could fare pretty well with what's the team you just the Kings.
Yeah.
They could fare well with the Suns, but the thing with the Suns is they have three dudes that been in the playoffs. One of them has won chips. I think they understand the playoffs a little bit. I mean, they went to 7 games against the potential champions last year. You know what I'm saying? So
So I'm gonna also clarify your point, because there's gonna be people. Well, the Lakers are under 500. The Suns are thinking about trading Kevin Durant. Um, you got teams like Kawhi Leonard, and they're starting to hoop in the Clippers
mhm,
area. You're saying once they get in, and that's a key statement,
mhm,
because obviously we know all those teams that you just named are struggling.
yeah.
So
Besides the Clippers,
besides the Clippers, after their freaking 0-10 skid,
yeah, yeah.
and finally got their win, and now they're rolling. But I just want to clarify to them, the viewers, that this is if and when they get in.
Hmm.
LeBron, them boys, we've seen them cradle their way in and
Yeah,
make
yeah,
it to the West,
yeah.
the conference. We've seen Suns go in there and make a run. So yes, I do think you have a point when you face teams that have the superstar
Hmm.
and experience, because that's key, because they're young, they're very young, and they haven't been there yet.
Right.
So I agree. And then which one do you think makes the leap and has that trophy?
Um. All right. Let me tell. I don't know how exactly you're asking this question, but I'm the way I'm understanding it is who's out of these two teams, which team has the chance of winning a trophy first?
No, this year,
Oh,
like, who do
this
you
year?
think
Oh no, this year I'm still gonna think it's
you
the
you
Celtics.
think is the
I
Celtics?
still think it's the Celtics.
Is it because of like the West being difficult to come out of?
Uh,
Um,
I just I just think it's experience,
Experience.
because yes, the West is a little difficult. I don't think it's gonna be easy for the Celtics either. I mean, I know right now they are rolling, but we've seen countless times we can't count out Miami, and Miami's looking like they're finding a little bit their niche.
Yeah,
I know the Bucks are kind of in a skid right now, but it is the Bucks. They do have Giannis,
yeah,
right? We can't count out Philly, even though they have their little woes when it comes to the playoffs.
agree.
And I mean, in the East, listen, there's a team out there that's rolling It looks like the trade helped out, but I wouldn't be surprised if somehow the Knicks find a way to ruin a lot of people's playoffs
Yeah,
hopes.
yeah, yeah.
Now, obviously, that's kind of ideal. I've seen multiple games after OG has joined the Knicks, and it looks like they found a piece that can help them. I don't think it's a piece to help them win the chip as of now, as of now. For all I know, especially after, because a lot of this is going to matter after All Stars, because that's where adjustments are made.
Yeah.
That's when the season is now it becomes very long. So teams that understand, like the Jimmy Butlers and the what's his name and the LeBrons, the Jokic. That's how they understand that after the All Star break, that's when it really matters. This is where
Uh,
we really need to polish our game. And then the other dudes that have been balling since day one, they're gonna start feeling fatigued. And that's why I feel the Timberwolves and OKC after the All Star break, they're gonna start feeling like, oh snap,
yeah.
we did not prepare for this, either physically or mentally. And I could be wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I'm saying right now, for all I know, after the All Star break, they keep it going, right?
Yeah.
And they get to the playoffs. They get a good matchup, win the first playoff series. Now I'm gonna have to come in here and talk to you guys and let you guys know I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I could be completely wrong. I'm just saying, due to history, due to what I've watched and
Yeah.
seen,
Uh,
I just see that they might still be the number 1 and 2 seed, but once they get to that final month into the playoffs, it's gonna take a toll.
Well, that's why I bring up the Kings because hey, they were the number one seed.
Mhm.
They run into
The
the
Warriors,
Warriors
yeah,
and they have a game at home. And guess what happens?
yeah.
Steph does what Steph does,
Steph is one of those guys
and
that
Steph is
understands
one of
that
those
moment.
guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm with you. I agree. I have a rebuttal in a sense of you paid this man $324 million, and that's your guy Jaylen Brown. How do
Um,
you feel about that guy?
all right. I'm gonna
And
give you two answers, and let me give you the rough one. It was a waste of money. It was a waste of money, right? Because I understand they have the money, so they kind of have to pay the money or whatever the case may be, right? Because I know they have to fall in arbitrations and this, that, and the third, and whatever the case may be, right? But if I'm paying, and you know me very well when it
yeah,
comes
yeah,
to
yeah.
contracts,
That's why I had to bring
if
it up.
I'm paying someone an X amount, especially in the sport of the NBA where certain contracts are considered
Supermax.
yeah, max or super max, I expect a level of play from you regardless of who is on your team. Okay, so I don't care if LeBron and KD are playing together and they give KD the super max. I expect you to play at the same, and I know they will, but I expect you to play the same level as LeBron. Now, what makes it worse, and we don't know how long that's gonna be because I know they can't really do that. You're actually getting paid more than the other guy that is considered the guy on your team.
Correct.
And if that guy is being a little bit more consistent, and in my eyes, I will say in Nefty's eyes, he looks like he's taking that mental step into the next level, you're still getting paid more than him. I still need at least consistency. I said, I don't remember how long ago, if you're not going to be or score or perform more than Tatum, I need you to be 20 plus. I need you to be honestly get 25. If Tatum is pretty much average, I think Tatum is over 28 right now, but at the beginning of the season, Tatum was averaging about 30. Why can't you average 23, 24, 25? I don't want to hear now. There's another person on your team that there has to be a whole other conversation
Yeah,
about
yeah,
this year
yeah.
because he's shooting the three ball better than Steph Curry. I repeat,
Yeah.
someone on the Celtics is shooting the three ball better than Stephen Curry, and that might not be something impressive because I know 2 years ago or last year, Steph Curry's brother shot better than by percentage, shot better than him. But this guy's shooting by percentage more better than Curry and shooting as many threes as Curry. So there's not a discrepancy there, right? So you got someone like that on your team. You got Tatum that's averaging 28 plus. You got Derek White who literally can fill up. Derek White is like the Iguodala on this team. You need points, he got it. You need a block, he got it. I think he had 4 straight games where Derek White had 2, 3 blocks. The last time someone was averaging 2, 3 blocks for an extended period of time, it was Paul George in like 2018. Guess what Paul George was considered for? Defensive Player of the Year. You know, so you got all these studs on your team, but you're getting paid 300 whatever
Yep.
plus, and I need you to be the consistent stud. Look, Porzingis just got hurt the other day. He got stabbed in the not stabbed in the eye. He got poked in the eye or whatever the case may be. I don't know how long he's going to be out. I didn't really look up to that. But now you gotta. I mean, you were still the second option. Now you really got to be the second
Yeah.
option because now you're losing. Something that I had to eat my words. Because look, I could be wrong. I said at the beginning of the before the season started, I didn't like that pickup.
I didn't like it either.
And Porzingis is becoming a very good piece for Boston.
Yeah.
All right, so now they're losing a pivotal piece, and we still can't trust you for 23.
Yeah.
You're coming in dropping 17, 18.
And shooting poorly.
Yeah, well, besides the one guy, the whole team. I think there was that 3 game skid that the Celtics was shooting very, especially from the 3 point line. They were shooting. When I talk about poor, I think against the league, right? We played you guys meaning the Lakers, Christmas Day, right?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure at halftime the Celtics were like 3 and 18 at the 3 point line.
And still beat us by like 15.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
But I get your point. I get your point.
Um, yeah, I think it was a waste of money. Now, I guess the slack I'm going to give JaYlen, because I said I was going to give you 2 sides, is the end point that I gave. I'm on a team where Tatum is scoring 28. Porzingis looks like Nick's Porzingis. I have what's his name? I have Drew Holiday becoming the West Side version of Steph Curry. Derek White is out here practically being 6 man of the year, even though I think he starts, but whatever.
So from what I'm hearing and listening, do you think that he's trying to get them not necessarily going, they're getting themselves going, but kind of like find his spot on where to be? Because I know when like you get not superstars, but a new acclimated team and it's 5 starters.
Hmm.
Do you think that he kind of like struggled fitting himself in with Drew Holiday now being the point where Jaylen Brown is not bringing the ball up? It's Drew Holiday, and now you have Porzingis where you got another piece that he takes a couple shots. So now the spacing is a little different from how
Yeah.
it normally is, and where you put yourself is not where you normally score. So now, do you think you cut him slack in that sense? Because now you got two different team, two different teammates and you're in an area of the floor where you may not be accustomed to scoring or your strong suit. Do you think that comes into effect as to
I think it does because of mental issues, probably. And what I mean is, like, I think mentally he has to get used to, oh snap, like you said, I'm not bringing the ball up anymore. And now he has to figure out his, like, again, like you said, his spacing on the floor. Okay, I know Drew's gonna bring the ball up. Porzingis is probably gonna, because of this play we're running. Porzingis is gonna be posting up here. What do I do? Do I screen down low? What am I doing? What's my role in this play? Now, where I think it benefits him, we've seen in the playoffs what happens when Tatum and Brown are the quote unquote ball handlers. You probably should be benefiting from this in figuring out your space, maybe a spot up, maybe run a 2-man game with Tatum. Heck, if anything, go look at what the Clippers are doing. Somehow, Kawhi and PG are figuring out a way because those are 2 guys that in previous teams were ball dominant, and somehow they're figuring out with 2 other guys, which is James Harden and Westbrook, that are also ball dominant players.
um I do have an answer for that because I have been watching them, but we won't get into that. But I agree.
Mm,
Jalen Brown does have to figure it out. I mean, he had a big game yesterday.
he did.
Hopefully, he can use that same recipe and that can continue. I know it's without Porzingis, but when he gets plugged back in, we kind of got to see that still going.
Yeah, got to figure that out. Got to figure that out.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
for all
yeah.
we know, I mean, we've seen it with Jimmy. They might be playing the long game.
Yeah, I know.
He might kick up after the All Star break. This might be him just
Yeah,
pacing himself. Because maybe that's what he was going. I mean, I don't think that's what he was going through in the playoffs. You just couldn't, as we all know, you just don't have a left, and that was your issue.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but maybe fatigue was also an issue, and he's really trying to pace himself. I don't want to really cape for him, and I kind of do because he plays for the Celtics. I'm more of a Celtics fan because of Tatum. It's not
Yeah,
that I like the Celtics. I just like Tatum.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
But people are going to harp that he makes $324 million
one
over
thousand
his,
percent, one
and
thousand
he's
percent.
not playing well. So
And I agree with that. We all know. Again, we all know how I feel when it comes to contracts.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All
We
right.
know
So
how I feel.
so let's start the BES podcast once again, baby.
Um, no, actually, I appreciate that. That was pretty cool. Um, we are going to bounce around because actually, I did want to touch on the Celtics, so I'm actually really glad that they got to that point, and we'll go back to them in a second. But let's start off with the college football playoffs, and boy, what a playoffs it is! We last week the Michigan Wolverines beat my Bama, my
Sheesh.
Alabama Roll Tide in an overtime thriller, 27-20.
Sheesh.
Um, good game,
Great game.
really good game.
Great game.
Had fun watching this game, and EJ is not here because I've told EJ multiple times. Michigan just checks all the motherfucking boxes, man.
Dude.
Um, I think what's kind of cool about this game is each team had one area in the game that they had an issue with, and I think it washed off. Like Michigan, special teams in this game was boo boo.
Yo. Wow.
And let me
Almost
tell
lost
you,
him.
anybody that has watched Michigan this year, they are very very polished when it comes polished. I'm not gonna say they're great or good because there's a difference between being polished and being great in special teams. Like for example, the Patriots are great on special teams, right? But then teams like the Rams are actually pretty polished when it comes to special teams. They don't drop the ball. They just make sure they catch it, get their 10, 15 yards, or just kneel down, get their 20 yards, and go. The Patriots are actually we seen a performance yesterday with the Steelers where a homeboy went out of bounds and touched the ball, and now they
Yep.
get the ball at the 40-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's stuff like that. Michigan normally was very polished the entire season until this game.
Yep.
Until this game, Michigan, I don't know what happened with their special teams. Maybe it was jitters. I can't really say it was jitters because it wasn't like it happened the first two play. It literally happened the entire game.
Yep.
Bama on the flip side, we know what Bama stands for when it comes to the trenches, either offensively or defensively. Bama's line, O line or D line, I'm not gonna say it's always the best, but they are up there. And that O line was not cutting it.
Yeah.
It was not cutting it. Now, I think I'm gonna give the credit more for Michigan's D line, but we are talking about Alabama, and your O line just has to play a little bit or protect a little bit better, just a little bit better. Now, the cool thing about it is Nick Saban is always a halftime adjuster. We've seen this countless times. We've seen this in a national championship game. They did make the adjustments
Yep.
into the third quarter. They made the adjustments, but what I don't think they were ready for. I think they planned to make the adjustments, and after the adjustments, go from there, right? And like this is what's gonna dictate the game. I don't think they were ready for Michigan to readjust after Bama's adjustment. Bama adjusted perfectly. Perfectly. They gave Milrow his space. They gave him his lane. Once it cleared out, it was perfect. And they made sure he had his little dump passes. There was a few big plays here and there, but it was more of the dump passes in case he got in trouble. What they weren't ready for is to literally flip the playbook on Bama, get back to pressuring Milrow, and now we are back to the first and second quarter where Milrow really couldn't do ish. That's the way I saw this game.
Yeah. I agree. I freaking defensively, Michigan was playing downhill
Yeah.
all game.
Hmm.
And I do agree with you. That second half, it looked like they switched it up on Michigan. And then that last drive where it basically came down to it all, they made sure we're gonna fill in the gaps, we're gonna go downhill, and you're gonna have to throw the ball.
You're gonna have to.
And and Michigan went ahead and succeeded. Um, to see Michigan, I think what is a minute and like 50 seconds. That last drive to go into overtime,
Yeah,
dude.
that was very impressive by them. Like,
It was very very impressive. When I think they go up a touchdown, and I'm like, all right, you get a stop, you win.
yeah,
And Michigan was just like, hey,
mm,
we're gonna go down this field at the 20,
yeah.
and we're gonna go 8 yards that way, and we're gonna send it
No,
to.
no. I think if I'm correct, I think it was less than that. I think they were like at the 4, bro, because I remember
Even worse.
vividly that the comment, and it's more because of the commentator. I remember the commentator saying Michigan could potentially lose this game off of safety
Off of safety. Wow.
and march down the field to tie this game.
And they go 96 yards that way.
Yeah,
That's insane. So I thought that was very impressive. Um, because yet again, they sent it to overtime, and they score. So
yeah,
okay, so my next question, I have a lot of questions.
yeah. Go
Do
ahead.
you like do you like the fact that college football goes ahead in overtime? Hey, they score a touchdown, and in my eyes, I watch the big games. Like I'll watch these games.
Yeah.
But I don't watch it all the time. Michigan scores a touchdown and I go, "Wow, that is game. Like game's over."
Hmm.
And I'm like, "All right, well, I'm going to turn off the TV."
Yeah.
But obviously I'm at my second job, and he's like, "Dude, game's not over." He's like, "They have a chance to score." And I'm like, "Do you like that rule? And should the NFL freaking change it?"
Well, the NCAA.
Oh no, well yes, because
Yeah.
they go ahead, you get a touchdown, all right, you got to answer back. NFL would just say, hey, if you score first,
It's
should they
over.
change it for the playoffs at least? Forget, I understand the extension of time and play,
I
but the playoffs,
All right, it's like yeah, I do and I don't. And the one honestly one of the reasons why I do is it's just how they always played it. So we're just kind of used to it,
that's how they
right?
always played it. Okay.
And I also like it because they're playing the ball at the 25. So it's like, okay, we're going to move the ball up to the 25. You got to score either way. Field goal or touchdown. You just got if you're the first obviously if you're the first team or the first offensive play. Well, I got to make sure to bring that up. I just got a notification about the Yankees. Um,
What?
yeah. So I like it because number one we've been doing this forever, so it's kind of like we're all used to this. Even though I forgot, what my boy Scott. Even though I hit up Scott
He-
and literally told him I could find the text. Yo, I forgot that this is how
yeah.
college football playoffs overtime is played. I'm especially I'm so sorry. Especially being that the NFL kind of like rules when American sports right now. So I was expecting a kickoff, kind of regular NFL overtime rules, and I completely forgot about college overtime rules, right? So because I'm looking at them, I'm like, yo, how'd they get to the 25-yard line already?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, now where I don't like it is this game could have just kept going. Like if they just kept scoring, it just keeps going. It's not like
Yeah.
now they have to match the score. Obviously, if Michigan scored the touchdown, Bama has to score a touchdown. They can't kick a field goal. That's not how it
Yeah, that's
works,
game.
right? Now, if Michigan scores a field goal, Alabama either scores a field goal to keep going or scores a touchdown to end the game. You know what I'm saying? But we've seen this where, and I forgot what game a few years back went to I think like 3 or 4 overtime.
Damn.
They just kept going, right? Um, if they changed it, they obviously got to move. Like it has to be a kickoff. We can't place the ball at the 25-yard line.
Yeah.
If we change it to the NFL rule, so I don't know. It's like I do and I don't because it's unique to college football. But obviously, we like the way the NFL does it because it's a little bit more ideal, I guess, if that's
Yeah.
the word that we want to use. Um,
I'm gonna be honest. I like how NCAA double A does it. I actually I was when I saw that I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you give them a chance because obviously the famous game is the Bills
Oh, and the Kansas City.
and Kansas City game where that game
And there was a
was.
game before. There's a game before that that a lot of people don't talk
Well,
about.
we can say the Patriots.
Yeah,
We can say
the Patriots and the Chiefs also had
yeah.
a coin flip
Uh-huh.
uh issue, I guess.
So, I mean, reverse it. Do you think the NFL should do it?
No,
No, you
no,
should
no,
just leave it the way it is.
no, because to me, the issue in the NFL is this: if I'm who's an offense, who's killing it offensively this year? It's not the Chiefs. I know the Chiefs is like the number 2 defense right now. Whoever is offensively killing in the NFL, right? Let's say we go into overtime and it's I'm just gonna name a team. I don't really know who right now. I'm just gonna I think it's the Dolphins. I think it's the Dolphins. But whatever. Let's say the Dolphins get the ball overtime, right? And I'm playing against the Eagles, who right now their defense is horrible. I think those college rules mean shit because I'm at the 25-yard line. I'm the most potent offense in the game. I'm gonna score in probably one play. Then we flip it around. I'm not saying the Eagles' offense is bad, but now you got so much pressure on you because
Yeah.
you know we could score easily, but you have to match our score.
Yeah.
That I think that's the issue with the NFL because in college football, it could potentially happen the same way, but it's rare where one team's offense is way more potent
Yeah.
than the college, the opposing team's defense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Unless you're like Bama playing fucking East Carolina, but let's be honest, that game's probably not going to overtime.
No, I
You know what I'm
agree.
saying?
Okay.
So that's why I think in the NFL they can't adapt or adopt that college
Okay.
football.
So how about not being at the 25 but allowing to get the ball back? Like we'll kick it off,
Yeah. Okay.
but hey, if
If
the
you score,
Patriots scored 7, can the Chiefs go ahead and try to match that?
So
How about
I think that can potentially be added on because I do think that's kind of cool. Especially, I mean, I know there's a lot of variables, but especially if, for example, that game where it was like the Patriot and Chiefs game, that was a shootout.
correct?
That game could have potentially been match, match, match. Maybe one team gets a stop
I
and we
mean,
win.
that's what the fans want to see. And it doesn't have to be in the regular season. In the playoffs,
Mhm.
I feel like it should be all out. You're playing for your basically
Yeah.
survival. You got to go ahead and
Now
all out.
the thing with that is that gets combated with teams playing the coin flip game. Now that particular game, the Patriots, just remember, right? We're talking about Bill Belichick, who's just like Nick Saban. The Patriots won the coin flip and decided to take the ball. Usually, Bill's like, no, 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 let them get the ball.
Yeah,
We're gonna stop them, right? So I think if the NFL plays by the college football rule, I think it eliminates the whole because look, Nick Saban did it.
yeah,
Nick Saban said, "Oh, we want coin flip. Nah, y'all get the ball first, because then whatever happens, I guess what Nick Saban thought is whatever happens with you guys, we either got to match it or win, and it backfired.
yeah,
And it backfired. Now that's a little bit to me. That's it, a little bit more entertaining at the college level.
yeah,
At the NFL level, I don't want to see the Patriots, especially that year that they beat the Chiefs. They were a top 5 offense. I don't want to see them receive the ball second and never get on, and get on the field and now have so much pressure on them because damn, Mahomes just went down the field by 2 plays. We have to score.
yeah.
It's I don't know. It's difficult.
It's
I
tough.
think it's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like a
tough
double-edged sword.
because all right, we're gonna kick it off.
Yeah, yeah.
You got to go down the field. You're not starting at the 25. You're starting at your own 25,
Yeah, yeah.
or however you take that ball up. But then you get a chance to then, all right, you receive, and you got to go down the field and score. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's
It was
tough.
great to see.
Yeah. It was cool. It was really good because it showed I don't know, it just showed how much Michigan bucked up. They said, "Yo, listen, we scored and now you guys have to score.
Yeah,
You guys
it
have to score. Like there's no way around it."
Because for a second, the way they were moving that ball closer and closer, I'm like, oh, Bama's gonna score, and then Michigan buckled down and was
Yeah,
like, all right, we're gonna then go downhill and we're gonna pressure you and you're gonna have to throw the
yeah,
ball.
you're gonna have to figure this out, buddy. Um, but it didn't just stop there.
Uh,
We also had another nail biter game with Washington beating Texas 37-31, right? Now, at first, it wasn't this close. Washington looked like
Yeah,
they were going to run away from it. Somehow, I don't know if they just took their foot off the gas or Texas just like bucked up and said, "Yeah, yeah, we're not going down like this." And it basically almost came down to the last play. Uh,
basically.
it basically came down to the last play. Um, it wasn't okay. This game was great. Don't get me wrong, but for some odd reason, and I might be biased, it wasn't like the Michigan and Alabama game. Only because it's like it was the fun was already sucked out of it with Washington being up. I think like two scores, two and a
Yeah,
half scores. So it's like, oh, I see where this game is going. Texas made it cool and all, but then you could kind of clearly see that Washington was like, all right, fam, listen, you're not gonna win this game.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And even though it ended up a nail biter because of the two plays, it was like the drop, the really good defense on Texas side, but then Washington flipped it back and the wide receiver basically mossed the dude right back. So it just washed itself, but it still ended because of those consecutive plays. It ended up being um, a pretty cool ending to the game. But to me, I think throughout the game you kind of knew Washington was going to win the game
Yeah.
regardless. Um, there's not really much to get into that. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, except for this. Do you think the committee got it right, especially knowing that Florida State lost to Georgia 63 or whatever the score was to 3?
They most definitely got it right.
Okay.
I'm I know you're a Bama fan, but man, I with these four, I'm like Georgia's got to be in there somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you really if Georgia doesn't if Georgia doesn't lose to Bama, Georgia's in there,
Oh, yeah, of course.
and God forbid they put um FSU in there.
Well, that
That would have been the score.
well, that's my issue with FSU. FSU after Bama loses, I don't know if you noticed. Bama loses to Michigan. Mind you, overtime game.
Yeah, a thriller
And
game.
everyone on FSU, including Travis, who I gave so much respect because he was giving Bama respect and said, "Yo, go win the damn thing." We lose the game. Everyone on FSU was like, "Oh wow, we didn't make it for this." What do you mean?
You
You
lo-
lost to Georgia by like 60, bro. So, anyways, let's say we don't lose to Georgia. You probably still don't make it in.
no. And even if you do, you play Georgia, you lose by
Or
60.
or you make it in, you play because the way the committee was going, Texas was going over you. The
Yeah.
way it was going, right?
Yeah.
Or or they don't make it over you, but now you either have to play Washington and Michigan. And let me be honest with you, if you lose to 60 to Georgia, Michigan's offense is probably not as potent as Georgia. I mean, they do have Kerwin or Kerwin, whatever the running back's name, and Georgia's running back is not that bad either. You're not beating these teams, bro. You're not being. You might be Bama. I mean, Michigan kind of put the recipe on how to beat Bama, but that's even tough because Bama's defense stopped Michigan. So I don't understand
Yeah.
why Florida, after we lose the game, Florida State, excuse me, was kind of like making all these tweets and posts and like shut the. You guys weren't. You guys would have got washed. I promise you. The same way Georgia kicked you guys out, you guys would have been washed. So I really don't understand the posts. I mean, most of you guys probably deleted it because we're in the post and delete era. Um, I didn't get that. I didn't get that at all. And this is not me saying this or coming at you guys as a Bama fan. This is me coming at you guys for the piss poor performance you guys had against Georgia.
60's insane.
Because listen, you want to talk all that shit, then perform against Georgia. Who, if they beat Bama, that was going to be one of your potential opponents.
Yeah, they were gonna be the ones. They were gonna be one.
So don't talk to me about wow, we didn't make it for this. If you couldn't even beat the team that potentially would have made it if they beat us.
Correct.
I didn't understand that all at all. That was very, very, excuse my language, that was very pussy from every single one of you. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. You guys need to go look at yourself in the mirror and figure it out. Like go soul searching or something because y'all boys got your morality in a different level. Like I don't understand that. You got you guys. Oh my gosh, I could just keep saying this, bro. You guys got washed. You
Yeah,
guys got washed.
it was
I don't
pretty
get it.
bad.
I really don't get it. You yeah, I don't see you guys beating these four teams. And if you take
No,
Bama out and put Georgia, if you take Bama out, put
same
Georgia,
thing.
take Texas out, put you guys. You guys are not beating any. You guys are not beating Washington. You're not beating Michigan, and we see that you guys couldn't beat Georgia without your quarterback. Because that's the one thing you guys thought you would have been able to beat teams without your quarterback. Georgia came in and said, "Yeah, check this out. Let's show you how you guys really can perform without your quarterback,"
Yep.
and it showed. So don't give me about our defense is this, our wide receiver is that. If the person hiking the ball can't get it to them. No offense to the backups. Um, we're gonna go back to the NBA.
Yeah.
Back to the NBA, and we're gonna first talk about the best of the best. And we pretty much already spoke about it, but let's just touch base again on what we kind of talk about. The Celtics are number one in the East right now at 28-7. Last last 10 games they won 8 of them, so they're 8-2. And at this particular moment, they're 17-0 at home,
Damn.
which is probably the best at the particular moment, right?
At the moment. At the moment.
Um, I know we kind of broke down a little bit, right? But it was more you asking me. I do want to add this. Celtics next 3 games, they just beat the Pacers yesterday, right? And that was the behind the big performances of Jayson Tatum, which I think had that 37 or 38, and Jaylen Brown had 31. All right. And obviously, they're not the only two that had good performances, but everybody's going to highlight the dudes that scored 30 plus. The Pacers, who has been a team that has almost everybody's number. The Bucks can't beat the Pacers for some odd reason.
Nope.
The Celtics lost to the Pacers in the in-season tournament, like semifinals, before the Pacers then lose to the Lakers. Right? The Celtics in the next 3 upcoming games, they play the Pacers again at Indianapolis. By the way,
Damn.
this game that they won yesterday was still at Indianapolis, so they have the. Unless I read that wrong, they have a back-to-back in Indy
Damn.
against the Pacers. They already beat you guys once, and now they got to play you guys again at your home court. After that, they play the Timberwolves, number one team in the West, so that's going to be a pretty cool game.
Yeah,
Cool
yeah,
game to
yeah.
watch, right? And then they play, even though they're slumping, they play the Bucks. So right now, and it looks like the Timberwolves and Bucks game is in Boston. They got the next 3 games is pretty tough for the Celtics. Again, 28-7. They're 17-0 at home, and I'm really highlighting this because, like I said, if I'm correct, they play the Wolves and the Bucks in Boston.
Damn.
By any chance, do you see them winning outright these 3 games? Do they lose any games? Do they finally lose a game at home against maybe the Wolves or the Bucks?
If there's one game they would lose to, if Porzingis is out, I wanna say the Timberwolves.
Okay.
Um, I could see them losing to the Timberwolves more than the Bucks, only because they've played the Bucks a lot. I know Damian Lillard's there, but obviously you have your boy Drew to handle Dame, and they've been struggling. Um, but they have Cat, they have Gobert, and that boy is hooping.
Yeah.
So with Porzingis out, and I don't know how long he's out for, maybe a day or two. If he's out that game, you're gonna have in trouble with the interior because with those two big men down there and your boy attacking the rim, it's gonna be a long night. But this would be good for them. That I like how they play the Pacers again. I like how they play the Timberwolves and they play the Bucks. This stretch right here is good for them. It's like, hey, testament to where we're at,
Yeah.
where we're going. 3 games. I mean, 2 out of the 3 are at home. I could see a potential 2-1 scenario
Mhm.
at best. And if they mess around and win 3, sheesh, they're at their peak at that point.
Yeah, it's
Because you go ahead and beat the Pacers, who are honestly beating every team that is so called good,
yeah,
and then you go ahead and beat the number 1 seed in the West,
yeah.
and then you beat the Bucks, who are potentially supposed to make a run at the chip. So
Yeah.
it'll say a lot. I mean, it's very early, so it doesn't mean much because you said it before. At this point, the Celtics and Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, doesn't matter what you do in the regular season.
So
It's can you bring that chip
yeah,
to Boston?
at this point for Boston, all that really matters is what we doing in the playoffs because we've been the Celtics have been knocking on the door for the past 4 or 5 seasons. Like we need to start. Look, the same way the Nuggets have been knocking at the door for the last 4 or 5 seasons. They went to the Western Conference Finals against the Lakers during the bubble. The Lakers beat them out. Lakers win the chip. Excuse me. I think again, if I'm correct, they went to the Western Conference Finals again against Golden State. Golden State ends up winning. Golden State then beats Boston in the finals, right? So the same way that Denver was knocking on the door and they finally get it done last year, we need you guys
To
to
get
figure
over
that
that
out.
hump, yeah.
We need you guys to figure that out. Now, on the West side, another team that had
Golly.
one of the most impressive stretches is OKC, who we also touched base on. OKC right now is 23-11, currently the second team in the West, only 2 games behind the Timberwolves. Playing very well. We already spoke about how well Shea's playing. They got Chet pretty much looking like he's going to be the rookie of the year. I mean, Victor might have different plans for that. But let me bring something up for you guys, right? Not too long ago. Not too long ago, right? Since December 16, these are the teams that OKC has beaten.
All right, let's hear it.
You ready? They beaten the Nuggets twice.
Ooh.
The Clippers. The Grizzlies. Let me iterate why this is impressive. The
Ooh.
Clippers, as we know, probably in the last 15 games are probably like 14-1.
They're on a run,
The Grizzlies since John Morant are like
performing.
they're I don't know what's going on over there, even though they're missing a lot of people because I think Adams is out for the year, whatever the case may be. With John Morant and John Morant's balling. All right. The Nuggets, we don't got to say much about the Nuggets, and they beat them twice. Okay.
Got their number.
They beat the number one team in the West, the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
They beat the Knicks, who I did mention earlier are making their stride. Now, this might have been before the trade, but are making their stride and becoming maybe a better team
Yeah.
or at least a nice little playoff
The
push,
Knicks
right?
are scrappy.
And last but not least, they beat, even though it was a very ugly game. Can you guess it? The Celtics.
Wow.
Very ugly game. They were up 20 against the Celtics during
Damn.
the half or the third quarter. Celtics end up coming back. They only lose by like 3 or something like that.
Oh wow.
So the Celtics somehow they figured it out and came back, but they still ended up losing the game. So since December 16th, so in about a month, because today's what, the 7th? So a little bit less than a month, a week less than a month, they beat all these playoff potential teams.
Damn.
Probably one of the most impressive stretch. Now, but I will say this though, they do lose to one team that we are going to get into that aren't playing very well, and that is your Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah.
They did lose to them at full power, by the way. Nobody was missing. It's not like someone was hurt or not playing. Both teams had who they were supposed to have playing that game, and the Lakers somehow managed to scrape a win against the Thunder. That being said, we are going to now speak about the bad of the NBA, and that is, well, let's start with the East. The Bucks.
Sheesh.
The Bucks are having a rough start to the new year. Very rough start to the new year. They go 11-2 in the month of December. But once 2023 turned into 2024, the Bucks are now 1-3, uh, and statistically scoring 12 less points than they were scoring within that 11-2 stretch. Now, 12 points probably doesn't mean a lot, but 12 points is potentially your third or fourth options points per game total if we really get
Yeah.
down to it, right? Um, and mind you, I think they just lost yesterday or 2 days ago against Houston. Giannis scores 48 points that game.
Damn.
Still lose against Houston.
And they're not good.
So, what do you think about that? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. Fuck, I'm gonna be like hypocritical, but not right. I think this is very bad for them because they probably, especially with getting Dame, they should probably start ironing the kinks. But it is the Bucks, After the All Star break, like I said before, they could potentially figure it out. But I kind of want to know, what do you think of this 4 game skid? Right, not skid, but in the last 4 games they're 1-3, or since January they're 1-3. Do you think? Oh, wait. Actually, no. Let me ask you this question because I got to get into what Giannis said, which was crazy to me. But what do you think about this? Do you think they can recover? Do you think this is something to worry about, or we're just
Um,
overreacting?
I'm gonna stay in the middle. I'm not gonna overreact, and I'm not gonna worry. Only reason why I say that is because I've seen teams unite, and sometimes they can click right away,
Mhm.
and sometimes it takes a while. Dame is usually the most with the ball. Giannis on that team, when you look back at it, he was coming down 94 feet with that ball.
Yeah, yeah,
So there's kinks and things they need to figure out. And also defensively, Drew Holiday did so much, taking their best player. You know? And
Mm,
yes, I speak really highly of Drew Holiday because he plays on two sides of the ball.
right.
You're missing that.
I didn't even
And I'm
think about
not,
that.
no disrespect to Dame, because Dame is averaging his 26, 27. But defensively, he's not that great. He's not Drew Holiday. And also, with Middleton being in and out, not always healthy for the past 3 years, you're not getting that consistency. And when he's plug in, plugged out, who else do you go to? It's Dame and Giannis. Giannis scores 48. Dame, all right, scores 20. Where's the next points coming from?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Brooke Lopez, like, where is the next 50 points going?
Right.
And I think that's why they're struggling. Because it's like, all right, who else can we account on to get another 15, 20 points if Middleton is in and out, or if Middleton's not playing to his potential? And they're missing it because guess what? All right, we can't put the ball in the basket. What do we need? Stops. Who's going to stop the ball? It's not Dame. It's not Middleton. So guess what?
Yeah.
You're going to lose games. So I think right now it's early. I would then start questioning it if they don't figure it out during that after All-Star break. Like, all right, let's make the adjustment and let's figure it out. Now, if they're going and they make it into the playoffs and they still haven't figured it out, as a Bucks fan, I am gonna worry because if you cannot defend, and we know defense wins majority of the games
And championships.
and championships, you will be bounced first round. So that's what I have to say about
Yeah.
the Bucks.
See, I completely forgot about the Drew aspect of it, and another player as well, who may not be as beneficial as Drew, but you guys also lose Grayson Allen, who is
Yep,
very gritty when it comes to playing defense.
I
So
agree.
you're losing 2 defensive players and 2 players that can also
Shoot.
pause, stroke the three
Hey
ball.
yo.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I know you get Dame, but Dame might fill the hole offensively, but as we said already, defensively, it's an uphill battle for
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
Off the Bucks, let's go back to the West. Now your team,
Yeah.
Los Angeles Lakers, another team that is ever since the in-season tournament championship game that they won, have been on a little skid. Last 10 games, they're 2-8. Right now, by 2 games, I believe, they're under 500. What do you see with your Lakers? What do you feel about them? What do you think is possibly the issue?
Um, to be honest, it's really a lot. And I'll say this.
Mm,
Um,
I forgot. I'm so sorry. I forgot to mention. Yo, Giannis. Did you see what Giannis said yesterday after the loss?
yeah, he said freaking he's not 7'3", he's 7'11".
Um, I didn't hear that one, but what I did hear,
Oh God.
yeah, what I did hear is I guess one of the reporters, like Endgame report or whatever, asked like, okay, what's the issue with the team? Blah blah blah. You guys are one
Oh.
and three, and he goes, we got to play better. We got to defend better. The leaders got to lead better. And then he says like, what he said the equipment guys got to wash the clothes better. I was like, what are you talking about? Right? And he starts going off. He's like, the coach has to coach better. We have to run better. We have to score better. And he just goes on. It's like 10 different things he said that they got to do better. And I'm sitting there like, right? And I'm only bringing this up for this, right? This is the only reason, because to be honest, to G honest, no,
Nah.
it was no,
Nah.
that was a stretch. My fault.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I can care a lick about this. I don't really care about the Bucks and Giannis. Ever since Giannis won those back-to-back MVPs or whatever it was, I started feeling some type of way over Giannis. But are you okay with Giannis doing this? Is there an issue in your eyes? Like, how do you feel about this little blow up, I guess, so to speak?
I feel like he has his moments in the media all the time.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be honest, it's tough because
See, it just rolls out. I'm a be Giannis. You know, like I don't know. No,
uh,
my fault. My fault. My bad.
it's like when the whole moment, oh, man, I don't remember. But he has these moments where he speaks out like, oh, he lost in the playoffs and he didn't win. He's like, every season if you don't win, it's a losing season. So he has his moments in the media where he goes on, it's on a little stretch on what he says. And I don't know if it's a language barrier sometimes, or if Giannis is just very emotional and how he sees things and how he views things. And I don't know if he really meant we gotta wash the clothes better. So I wouldn't take, like, sometimes I'm like, I don't take what he says very literal, because sometimes, what he says out there is a stretch.
Yeah, no, he be
So
he be going crazy sometimes. I ain't gonna lie to you.
yeah, and I get it. Like he has a good heart. I understand where most of the time where he's coming from. But when he's speaking like that, I'm just like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna just look the other way, just let him go on his rant. And usually when he does, things start to turn around for the team. So hopefully it's to get him going, and then hopefully the Bucks can go on a stretch. But I can care less about him saying that the team needs to wash the clothes better and they need to run better.
All right, I mean that's all I had. I really,
That I Yeah, Giannis, he's a funny guy.
it was like whatever to me. But back to your Lakers.
So my, I mean, I wish EJ was here because I'm like, hey, bro, Anthony Davis is not our issue. He's been hooping.
Yeah.
He's been doing what Anthony Davis was supposed to be doing. And LeBron is. I'm not gonna bring him up because he's playing like he's supposed to be playing. So our two stars are playing up to par, and the Lakers organization has yet again failed LeBron to put a team around. And the reason why I say that is because normally when you look at LeBron's team, they have a lot of like, hey, we're gonna play defense, and we're gonna be able to spot up and shoot. And when you look at this Lakers roster, um, I don't see I see the defensive part in the sense of Cam Reddish, Vanderbilt, and you have a guy like Reeves who also high volume in the sense of being able to defend. But then, all right, those same guys, can they go ahead and shoot? Cam Reddish, for me, he's a high volume shooter. He needs space. For him to sit in a corner and just shoot. I don't see that for Cam.
Yeah.
I think Cam needs to roam around. I think Cam needs the ball in his hands. He doesn't fit the Lakers. And I like Cam. He just doesn't fit us. In a sense, to be able to, we need you to defend. We need you to spot up and shoot. When you get a lane, we need you. Like, it's just something that if that's not what you do, it's hard to then, after doing it for so long, to then be in a box. And you can't put Cam in a box. And I feel like, hey, I have to teach you how to shoot. You're in the NBA. If you can't shoot a lick of three and you got there, kudos to you, but good luck trying to shoot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And be a high volume shooter at the three in Vanderbilt. Like, all season is like Vandy's going to shoot these corner threes and he's going to shoot it at a high clip because he can defend. Yeah, Vandy could defend at a high level. But hey, what did Denver do? Yo, shoot that. I'm going to stand right here and get your board.
Yeah.
So he's not going to help. Because guess what? He can't shoot. All right, well, we got D'Lo. Well, guess what? D'Lo shoots at a high clip. He doesn't freaking run the offense as well as Reeves. He takes a lot of ill-advised shots. And guess what? D'Lo doesn't defend. So not only you got a shooter that is inconsistent, doesn't involve the offense, he doesn't defend. And guess who else do we have on that freaking roster? Oh my God.
That says a lot right there.
And it's hard because it's like, who I was looking at our roster and I'm like, who else do we go to? Because I'm like, Reeves has now been more consistent in the beginning. I know in the beginning of the season he was very sluggish, slow, and I give kudos because he went to Team USA and he did his thing, and then you come back and, hey, my boy was playing against people at the 5, people at the 4, so now he's acclimated. But guess what? We've seen teams of 3s and have no other bench and lose, aka Suns, aka Clippers. We've seen the teams built. You need a supporting cast, and the supporting cast that we have doesn't benefit Anthony Davis with floor spacing. Because Christian Wood, we got him shooting threes.
Yeah.
We got him. Like, where do we put him? All right, well, you got Christian Wood, a 7-footer out there. He doesn't shoot it at a high clip. Go ahead. So it's just like teams are now just keying in specifically on, like, who do we need to go ahead and key on and lock down, and who are we able to let them shoot? And if you're able to let Vanderbilt and Wood and D'Lo, it's hard because I like D'Lo, and let him do what he's been doing.
Yeah.
You're gonna win, because Anthony Davis scoring 30 and LeBron scoring 30 is only 60 points. And if these other supporting casts are not doing what they're supposed to do defensively and offensively, you're gonna lose. And we need to make some trades. And in the beginning of the season, I'm like, I felt like we had a team where I'm like, oh, we might see some things. But only to think that Darvin Ham is switching the roster and the starting 5 every game for the past 40 games.
Yeah, no, it's kind of crazy.
So, like, yet again, it comes down to consistency, because if I'm playing with you and then we have 3 guys on the team, and then guess what? We play it then another 3 guys the next day,
Yeah.
and then another 3 guys the next day, we're never going to get a rhythm.
Yeah, I don't understand how.
I don't know what he likes, because I only seen him a week ago, and then this guy, I've only played with him 2 months ago,
Yeah.
so I don't know where to give him the ball.
Right.
Like, they are a mess. Darvin Ham has been doing a terrible, terrible job. He should be on the hot seat. There's no reason why you're these many games in and you have the most lineup changes.
It's pretty bad.
Like we gotta
It's a
figure it
lot.
out.
Yeah, especially like I said earlier, All-Star break is creeping up soon, next month, I believe. Like if you don't have a solidified starting five that you can now roll into after the All-Star break into the playoffs, what are we doing? And he did this throughout the playoffs last year.
And I didn't like it. Again, Denver, and kudos to Denver because they literally pinpointed exactly what I named. They went after D'Lo
Yeah,
with Brown.
yeah,
He can't guard. When I get the ball, I'm going 94. He's gonna have to pick me up.
yeah.
If not, I'm laying the ball up. Like they made sure Brown and Brun, they were literally going at D'Lo. And if you take him out, cool. You'll put Vanderbilt, cool. You'll stop us. But then guess what? Stay over there in the corner.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
gonna let you shoot. So Denver was well coached, and I say it. The game they got swept. Everyone wants to talk about the Lakers getting swept, but when you add the points to that game, they lost those games combined by 6 points. That should tell you something. These games were very close, very gritty, and it was because the coach put them in the right position. Darvin Ham did not do that.
Um, yeah, I don't really got much to say about the Lakers, but you guys just have to figure it out. And I think the worst part about it is the two guys that are supposed to play very well are playing very well.
Yeah.
And the supporting cast, along with the coaching staff, is not doing anything to help with that. Then, what I am going to talk about is two different people. One of them being the Darwin Ham or whatever his name is, right?
Yeah.
Devin Ham. You made a comment, I think the last game that the Lakers lost, talking about you're getting tired with people living and dying on the day-to-day performance. But let me break something down to you, Mr. Ham. You are the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. That's like being the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. That's like being the manager of the New York Yankees. It's a day by day basis in these organizations, or the coach of the Boston Celtics. It's a New York Knicks. It's a day by day basis. If you are complaining about you getting tired of people day by day having an up day because they won and a down day, get out. then maybe that coaching job is not for you, because you have to sustain that. You are the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, brother. So when you lose, it's going to be down bad. When you win, it's going to be parades in LA. If you're not used to that or tired of that, I do not think you should continue coaching,
Yeah.
right? How about you focus on the lineups or your team, or maybe upcoming trades that Pelinka should probably also be thinking about to supplement this team, instead of worrying about what the fans are saying or doing. Because it's going to happen, being, and I'll say this again, the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, right? I mean, we went on Micah Parsons when he was talking about, oh, I'm tired of blah blah blah. Bro, you play for the Cowboys. When you wear that helmet with that star, it's a different level than the CJ Stroud putting the Texan horns. You guys need to understand the market that you're in and stop getting on camera and acting like a little bitch because you lost the game. Sorry, you're getting paid millions to coach the Los Angeles Lakers. Someone else I need to get on, respectfully, because I adore you a lot. Stephen A. Smith, you're here talking about why that nobody, or that you are going to start cooking people or getting on people for getting on Devin Ham. All right, so get on me then. You obviously don't know me, and you probably don't even care, because obviously our tax brackets are different. Why are we defending him? I want you to answer me. Why are we, if this ever gets to you, why are we defending him? I want to know why. Is it because he's a brother? I really want to know. Because if this was your Knicks, I guarantee you would be like, get him out of here. Get him out of here. We need a new coach. The coach is doing this, blah, 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 this, that, and third. I would guarantee it. I want to know why you are saying that we are overreacting in potentially having Devin Ham, or whatever his name, Mr. Ham, on the hot seat. Because I truly don't get why you are defending him. unless it's because of the whole ethnicity, I guess. I think that was for someone of your level, and I really don't want to disrespect you. You're Stephen A. Smith, my brother. You know, you are him. I saw that the other day. I forgot what day on first take I saw that. I think it was Thursday. I it blew me. It blew. I was off. It was off guard. I was off guard. I was like, what is Stephen A. talking about? What the heck are you talking about, bro? Like, oh, because he started saying like, he shouldn't be on the hot seat because this is the guy that took you to the conference finals last year, to the potential. You're absolutely right. But guess who probably should? The Lakers probably should have won. Probably should have won that series. You mentioned multiple times how the average point differential was 6 points or whatever the case may be. If maybe Ham didn't switch the lineup 62,000 times a game, we might have had, especially the last game or the second to last game, where the Lakers were up 15 points or whatever the case may be, and still lose the game.
Yep.
You get swept.
Yeah.
No. You didn't get beat. You didn't lose in 6 or 7. You got swept. Then you come in this year, cool. You guys go crazy in the in-season tournament. You guys win the in-season tournament championship. It was great. It was awesome. We are what? We're 2-8 since then.
Yep.
Again, changing the lineup another 63,000 times per game. So I truly want to know, why are we defending him? I just want to know that. You let me know that. Cool. But all you said to me was, oh, they shouldn't do that because this guy brought your team to the So? Bro, didn't they fire? I mean, when was it when I think when the Raptors went to the conference finals or won the chip, the next year they fired the coach.
Bounce, gotta go.
So what are we talking about? He didn't even win the chip.
Nope.
So I don't know why you said that, Stephen A. Again, I love you to death and I respect you wholeheartedly, but I didn't understand that at all. That was kind of crazy to me.
We do it with coaches. I mean, we've seen it with players. We've seen it happen to players. Hey, quarterbacks all the time.
If this was LeBron, you'd be on LeBron's case. Or Kobe or MJ or any of these guys. So why are we defending like, I'm confused right now.
Yeah.
On to football. The Ravens last week.
Hold on, before you go there.
Yeah.
EJ, I know he's gonna see this.
Oh, okay.
Oh man. They say it's a fantasy.
Okay.
They say it's a fantasy. But he's really gonna hit me. We're probably gonna fight. But that's okay. That's off camera, we're gonna fight. But what my rebuttal to him is, hey, at this day and age, they're both old. They're at this point. They're at their peak, and nothing can change their trajectory and how we view them. Who they are is who they are. They're at the point where a chip won't bother them. Them losing, it's cool. It's cool. So I'm gonna say this. Kevin Durant.
Oh yeah.
Can you leave Phoenix? And hey, have you played with Steph? You did what you had to do. You're on your tail end. Join your boy LeBron and make it even. Settle it and make it even. Join the Lakers. Make a run. Melo didn't get a chance to do it. He should have done it in Miami. Make a little push to Los Angeles and help a brother out. And win in LA. Bring your 7-foot ass, jump shot shooting mother lover to Los Angeles and win a ring.
You're cool with that.
If you would have told me Kevin Durant in his prime, I would have said no. But because of how their careers are panned out, there's nothing much to add. LeBron's 40. At this point, it's like I don't even know how to make an analogy to it, but is a bunch of supposedly two old farts
Yeah.
joining each other,
An old fart that's scoring almost 30 points per game.
which is insane. And if they say, "Hey, KD, you're a cancer," well, back in LA, we're pretty bad.
Yeah.
So if you want to two bads, hopefully makes
Two negatives make a positive, right?
yeah, but
Yeah.
so bring yourself this way and make that fantasy come true. Cause that'll be dope
At this point,
at this point because
go save Ham's coaching job.
I don't know what else the Lakers can do to
I mean,
yet again.
they could probably play better defense. They're playing a way horrible defense than they did last year. But in the sense of scoring, I get what you're saying.
Well, like I said, defensively, Cam Reddish, he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prince, he don't really do that. D'Lo, come on, like you're naming guys who, one, defensively don't try.
Yeah.
And are not necessarily can defend at a high level. Not saying that he can't defend. Defending is effort. In my eyes, I defend. It's effort. Not only with knowing where to necessarily put a offensive player in a position where it helps you, benefits you. Now that's a different level. I'm saying they don't even have the capability or IQ to do that.
Yeah.
They also defensively don't even try. So when you have players that are not even trying on defense and then on offense they're not producing, good luck. You're not going to win.
Well, that being said,
Go ahead.
the Ravens last week destroyed the Dolphins 56-19. Right? And with that, I want to start off with saying or asking, are the Ravens the team to beat in the AFC?
I'm going to be honest. In the beginning of the season, I would have said no. And even midway through the season,
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I'm like, I'm not worried about the Ravens in the middle of the season. But what they are doing in the end of the season, they've beat every team that has potential to win the Super Bowl. And not only just win, blow out.
Yeah.
So, yes, they should be the favorites. And to me, it comes down to their defense and it comes down to Lamar. And watching him, I'm like, damn. Because Andrews goes down and likely is like, don't worry.
I got it.
We're not downgrading.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat Andrews.
Yeah.
And potentially he is it looks like an upgrade.
That was the Laporta to the Hawkinson right there.
Insane.
Yeah.
And guess what? Zay Flowers is hooping, and I understand when you hear Zay Flowers, when you hear Bateman, when you hear Odell, you're like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not picking them up in fantasy. I'm not betting on them. But when Odell is healthy, he's picking up key plays.
Yeah.
Bateman is making plays downfield. Zay Flowers is being swifty.
And you got that man slinging the pigskin. MVP.
Yet again.
Yeah, no. Lamar's having one of the. Oh my gosh, the year that Lamar's having is
5
great.
tutties.
Definitely MVP caliber. Should be like there's no, to me, no argument. Get Lamar's MVP. If you haven't watched Lamar this year, I don't know. And I know there's been a lot of other things. You know, the Eagles starting 10-1. San Fran and those boys over there dominating. Miami lighting up a storm offensively. You know what I'm saying? And then we have the downfall of, well, the Eagles, the Chiefs have a little downfall. The Rams aren't there. And I get it. There's a lot. Oh, Detroit playing very well at the beginning of the season. They fell off a little bit. So I get that there was a lot of storylines out there that probably overshadowed the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. But let me tell you, if you didn't pay attention to that boy, number 8, you missed out because the season that he's having is crazy. For the Dolphins, though, this is now the third team that they get destroyed to that are quote unquote playoff contenders. They lose to, now obviously I said that they lost to the Ravens 56-19, right? They lost to the Bills 48-20, and then they go and lose to the Eagles 31-17. Obviously before the Eagles, then that was literally right before the Eagles go, I think 1-5 now, or whatever the case may be. Um, because of this, or because of this loss, right? This now allows the Bills to pretty much determine their own destiny, because the Bills now, with their kind of up and down season, can potentially win the AFC East if they have to win today.
They have to win.
Now they lose,
They're
which is
out.
one of the weirdest things.
It's crazy.
They're out of the playoffs, so they potentially could go from number 1 in the East to
Well, the
excuse
2
me,
seed,
yeah, um,
which is insane. 2
which is kind of
seed or
crazy.
nothing.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. That's basically what it is. Now, yesterday, 2 very good games in my opinion, even though one of them, the starters really didn't play. But I got something for that. The Steelers then go and beat the Ravens yesterday, 17-10. Without Lamar Jackson, I don't really remember Zay Flowers playing. I'm not too sure. I know Likely scored, so I know Likely was playing and stuff like that. Um, which now puts the Steelers in a very good position in making the playoffs.
Yep.
Right? Now, I know there's the whole hoopla of, oh, but Lamar didn't play, this, that, and the third. And listen, I hear you guys. I got right here in October, the Steelers beat the Ravens with Lamar Jackson and them boys 17-10
Damn.
by the same score. Now, I didn't really go back to check the box score or any of the highlights to see exactly what happened. But the way I see it, off face value, if you still beat the Ravens 17-10, and I know that's a division rivalry kind of thing going on there with Lamar.
Yeah. I mean, the conditions they were playing in yesterday was
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
It was raining. It was pouring. There was a point where the Ravens quarterback, Huntley, he had a chance to score a touchdown. And he was like evading the pocket. And he slipped and fell.
Yikes.
And it created obviously a 4th down.
Yeah.
Which then they had no timeout, so they had to kick it and try to get an offside kick. But Steelers, it's Tom. Like I know we want to change him out. I don't know why we want to change him out and kick him out so bad. We don't have a quarterback. There's a quarterback situation we need to figure out. Pickens has been playing well these past 2 games, but before that, what was he doing?
Yeah.
Defensively, the Steelers are known to defend, and they're struggling defensively, and you're going to put it yet again on the coach, which I understand. But he's not losing any seasons. He's yet again 500.
At least 500 or above 500.
Can you
And
go
could potentially make the playoffs.
and could potentially make the playoffs on the Bills? Can you, as an owner, knowing that your head coach, whatever you are giving him, he's making sure that, hey, we stay afloat, or if not better.
Yeah.
Can we get some pieces? Because he's not the one drafting. He can only control what he has.
Yeah, he's just coaching what he's given. What he is given.
So, hey, if my team is not that great, but we're going to make sure that, hey, we're 500 or better, I want him. Because, hey, I got to get him a quarterback. I got to figure it out.
Bring him to
I
New
got to
York.
make a trade. I got to do something. Because I promise you, if he gets put in a place where he has a top 10 quarterback and defensively he has a team that can defend,
Mind you,
God forbid.
mind you, this speaks to Mike Tomlin's greatness. We also need to understand this guy went through 3 different departures that scarred probably the Steelers organization a little bit, right? When Ben Roethlisberger probably should have been out of the league, this guy said, "No, man, that's my quarterback." And Ben played an extra 2, 3 years, and I think they gave him even a 1 year extension. I think it was more just to be like that on the bench and kind of coach the guy, but everybody was like, "Yo, get away from this guy," right? Cool. I don't know if Ben was still there or not, or whatever the case may be. But remember, they also had Antonio Brown that had a whole episode for like an
Yep.
entire year. Guess who still had an above 500 record, right? And I think right before that, right? Right before Antonio Brown, they had Antonio Brown and they had Juju, but
Bell?
they lost Le'Veon Bell, who sat out an entire season.
Correct.
Guess who still had an above 500 record? So my boy had to deal with the big departures, right? Also, the Jets, you guys can't. I don't know how you guys can't manage. You guys get Le'Veon Bell after he leaves the Steelers, and this year they had Dalvin Cook, and somehow you guys still can't figure out how to make these guys. But whatever, we're not gonna get
That
to that.
offensive line, bro, is bad.
Well, yeah, that is true, but
We,
so are the Giants, and Saquon is still Saquon. I'm not.
they're not Saquon.
Yeah, I'm not gonna compare them to Saquon, but they were them in
No,
their
yeah.
eras. Back to Tomlin. Listen, I don't understand. There should be no negative. Uh, I don't even know, bro. Like this guy's great. This guy's amazing. This guy should be respected. If anything, give him an extension. Give him an extension. Start drafting players that he could probably work with. Maybe obviously a quarterback. Um,
If they let go of him and they bring somebody else,
yeah,
and they don't do or keep up to par what he is doing,
they're gonna see.
ooh, they
They're,
gonna hear it from me.
yeah, they're gonna see why this guy was great. The other game that happened yesterday, right? Oh, by the way, I do want to make note that the Steelers, right, are making all this noise. They're potentially can make the playoffs, and literally just about 25 to 30 days ago, the Steelers lost 3 games in a row, and they lost to they lost to teams that aren't in the playoffs. They lost to the Cardinals. They lost to the Patriots on that Thursday night game, and then they end up losing to the Colts, who playoffs picture was cut short yesterday against the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
The Texans go out and beat the Colts. I have it here. I think it was 23-17, if I'm correct. I'm losing it, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize. Anyways, but they lose to the Texans yesterday, right? The Texans, with this win, solidified. They punched their ticket into the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Texans are into the playoffs, and it was 23-19. And what a story it is for Houston, because they were kind of the laughing stock at the beginning of the season. I forgot how many games they were under 500. People were saying, "Oh, here we go, another rookie quarterback, not gonna do nothing." But here comes C.J. Stroud, Tank, Collins, and they said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah.
And now they're rolling into the playoffs. Now they won't have Tank, which is
Which is crucial.
yeah, it kind of sucks for them. But Tank, get as healthy as possible, because they're probably not gonna make noise. But let me tell you, offensively, and
Yeah.
they're still solid defensively. Let me not say that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
offensively, in the upcoming seasons, if they continue to develop, you give me C.J. Stroud, Collins, and Tank. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I know Noah Brown didn't play, but we've seen Noah Brown play without Collins and had Tank and vice versa.
yeah.
Noah Brown
Oh, that's yeah.
next.
My
I know.
bad.
Come playoff time,
Yeah,
Noah Brown's gonna be that black horse that you got to watch out for. And they got Schultz, who Schultz is a top 10
yeah. Tight end.
tight end, and he's gonna go ahead and be that security blanket that I love to talk about with great quarterbacks, and he's gonna be key. So I'm happy to see how they move on. And hey, everyone's talking about you made the playoffs. That's great. Your first year, man. Win.
Yeah, try to
You
steal
got
one.
nothing to lose.
Try to steal
Win.
one.
You know,
And
try to
and they got
steal
a
one.
and they got a rookie coach.
So it's all good things.
And they got a rookie coach.
I understand that. Hey, Singletary's getting old. You may have to look for a running back. That hey, but you're moving in the right direction. You got your quarterback. You got your wide receivers. Your defense is your defense. It's a bright future if you're a Houston fan.
The Colts. Sorry,
What are you doing?
sorry. And the way you guys ended that game, which I'm actually here to ask you,
Butterfinger.
um, who is to blame for that last play?
The coach.
Okay.
The coach. I don't know if realistically, I don't know if I want to blame the coach. I don't know if I want to blame Taylor. I honestly, I'm torn between both because he rushes for 175 yards, has a touchdown, and they call a timeout. After the big run, they call a timeout, and TV commercial passes. You see JT grab some water, and I'm like,
What's going on
you're
here?
telling me that if you win this game, you are in the playoffs, and you're drinking water on a 4th and 1, where the play is set up for the running back to get the ball on a hitch route to the left. That is what you're telling me. That I'm okay with someone who's not Jonathan Taylor, who's been balling out all game to catch a ball. You're gonna put the second string, the second back, who's check this that out. He's all season, he's only had 6 catches. 6. 6. And guess who's catching that ball? 4th and 1 with playoff on the line. Not JT. Got the second back getting his ball. And it looked like he didn't know which direction. He was like, I'm getting this ball here, I'm getting this ball here. His feet were all tangled. Then gets 2 hands on the ball and drops it.
Yikes.
That is disgusting. Like, I'm not mad at the running back because you're not even supposed to be in that situation. Your coach put you in that situation. And if I'm JT, I'm getting my ass out there. Do you not want to win? Do you not want to make the playoffs? Are you okay with your backup getting the potential first down on a 4th and 1 for all the marbles, as they say?
For all the marbles.
I'm confused. For you to just stand there and drink water? Bro, as a
What if
Colts fan,
what
I'm
if
pissed.
this was like a mental game, right? What if I'm not trying to justify, I'm making a scenario for you, right? What if the coach was like, all right, well, if I put JT, they know it's going to go to JT and they might double team or whatever the case may be. If I throw this guy and they don't suspect it, which kind of worked, and he's wide open, we can get this first down.
I'm going to be honest.
No,
In all of sports, you know what they do best?
give it to the guy that.
Give it to the guy.
You hear that, Seahawks? You hear that?
I'm just saying.
Marshawn Lynch was chilling in the
I'm
backfield, my brother.
just saying.
Thank you, though.
I'm
I appreciate
just
that.
saying.
I appreciate that.
And hey, and this is why LeBron gets criticized all the time. Because he makes the right play. But sometimes when you make the right play, stuff like that happens. And you got to deal with the repercussions. Give it to your best player who's been hooping all game.
Now, are we not putting any blame on the quarterback for seeing this wide open running back and throw it behind him?
I saw it a couple times, and I think it's just because The running back, his route,
Mhm.
it didn't look like he knew what he was doing
Okay.
because the way he turned and then had to then readjust, it looked like it wasn't. It wasn't the throw that was the problem. It was the way he broke his stride that was the problem.
Okay.
Because then yet again, when he then finally gets in the right direction of like, oh, I'm right where I'm supposed to be, then the ball is behind him. But yet again, that is your backup running back
Mhm.
who's only gotten the ball 6 times catching. We've all seen, hey, if I'm not giving this backup quarterback that many touches, the timing of that ball coming out is always not going to be 100%. So you're going in with that risk factor of, hey, if he doesn't run a clean route and I don't put the ball in the place that it needs to be, we're gonna lose.
Yeah.
And I understand that, hey, maybe he was behind, and I'm gonna say his feet got tangled. 2 hands on the ball. I'm like, you gotta catch it. And I know he's pissed because as soon as he dropped it,
He knew.
immediately he knew.
He knew. Yeah, and he said it in the press conference or the post game.
So, and I know he should have caught the ball. He didn't. No excuses were said about Minshew. Um, and as a Colts fan, you don't want to see it go to your backup on a 4th and 1 with all the game on the line.
I would also say though, I would like Minshew. Now, if he did, I didn't see it. So, pardon me if he did. I would also like Minshew to be that quarterback because potentially, realistically, the quarterback is technically the captain of the offense.
100%.
I would like you to be, you know what? I missed through the ball. Like I can
Yeah.
also play my part. If he did, I didn't see it, so I apologize. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't see
I
it,
know what
so
you mean.
I'm saying, the same way.
Uh-huh.
Same way
Yeah.
Mahomes was like, oh, I should have thrown a little bit, whatever the case may be, in that one play that you and me went back and forth on
Which
against the Eagles, I think, if I'm correct. I don't
yeah,
remember.
no, which you're right. That
Um,
got to throw a better ball.
that's all I'm asking for. Again, if he did say it, then forget everything I just said right now. But as a quarterback, I think I would still be out there and kind of defend my offensive players. Speaking, kind of speaking on the Eagles, right? What's up? What is
Dude,
good? Uh,
dude,
last 5 games, you guys are 1-4, right?
dude,
And let me break this down for you, right?
dude.
You guys are 1-4 last 5 games. In those 5 games, you guys have losses. Excuse me. You guys have losses to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I don't have to get into that, right? Like
No.
it's the Cardinals.
Yeah.
You guys have a loss against the Seahawks, which was like a last second drive or whatever.
And
More impressive on the Seahawks end, but you guys probably should have won that game.
against the backup quarterback.
Right. Cool. Then you get your 2 other losses. You get destroyed by the 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys, which,
Uh-huh.
oh, are these playoff potential
Uh-huh.
matchups? Oh,
Hmm.
okay, okay. All right. And then your one win is against sorry,
No, it's okay.
your in division rivals, the New York Giants, who you guys are going to play today. Those are going to listen and watch this play yesterday. So we don't know the outcome just yet, right? And let me tell you, that win wasn't very impressive. The Giants could have won
And the
that game.
Gi- I was just about to say, and the crazy part is, I'm thinking like, well, it's gonna be a bounce back game for the Eagles. They're gonna crush us by
Yeah.
like 20. Nope.
The Giants could have.
Nope.
The Giants was in a really good position to. So
Twice.
realistically, you guys could have been 0-5 the last 5 games,
Yep.
right? Now, right? I've been giving we've been giving you guys so much
I don't
flowers
Yeah.
the entire
I don't wanna
season,
go
right?
there.
You guys are in this 1-5 skid. We've been pretty, in my opinion, we've been pretty quiet with the losses. I don't think we've been on you guys a lot.
No.
But now I'm going to have to. And you know why? Because the whole week, you guys want to go around and say, oh, but the '06 Colts had the same last 5 game skid and they win the Super Bowl. Oh, but the 2013 or whatever year Ravens had the same last 5 game skid and they win the Super Bowl. I don't know if you guys know, right?
Do you know?
I hate when people do this. Not just for them. We've done it to the Patriots multiple times. We've done it to my teams. I think this year someone said something about the Yankees, like, oh, the Yankees blah blah blah, and the last time they did this, they made the playoffs, or what, I forgot what was the stat, but I think it was no, excuse me. I think what it was is with the start of the season they bounced back and made it to the World Series. Obviously, that didn't happen,
Yeah.
right? What I don't like about this either, right? We need to look at how those teams lost and the teams that we're comparing to. '06 Colts
Yeah.
offensively have Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne.
Jeez.
You know, I'm not even gonna go to the defense. That defense is pretty good, right? Quarterback Peyton Manning. Guess what? You guys don't have a Peyton Manning,
Yeah. No.
right? Ravens, Super Bowl championship team that you guys just decide to compare yourself to, right?
Jeez.
You want to know who they had? Let's not even talk about the defense. You guys are in last place in this 5-game skid. You guys are in last place in defense. Guess what the Ravens did not have that year? A last place defense,
Yeah.
right? Then they have Joe Flacco. Should we remind everybody what Joe Flacco's doing right now?
Ooh.
They go up against the 49ers in the Super Bowl, who you guys are probably going to have to go against. And look and listen, I know they had Kaepernick and they had what was this guy's name? I think it was Anquan Bolding or whoever their wide receivers were,
Boys.
right? Their defense.
Elite
Guess what you guys don't have,
defense.
right? We're not also going to talk about how it's been very clear how Hurts and Brown are just not in the same page the entire season.
Second half.
Well, I know they had that one game, like game 3 or 4 of the season, where Brown came at Hurts, and then remember I lost a $500 bet on
Yeah.
because right.
So the first 6-7 games, AJ Brown went stupid. After he had that conversation with
It
Jalen
probably went downhill.
he
right?
went and had 7. After that, yeah, nah. The last 10 games, basura.
Listen, I don't know. We get a lot of slack about Yankee fans live in this fantasy. You guys always think that you guys are gonna.
Yeah.
I think it's time to put the Eagles in that. At least the fans. I'm not gonna say you. For all we know, you guys buckle up, win out, go to the Super Bowl. Will you win it or not? Don't know. But if you guys somehow make it back to the Super Bowl, now you guys probably should go win it. I'll tell you that. You can't go to back-to-back Super Bowls and not win one. Unless you're the Buffalo Bills in the 90s or whatever, or 80s, whenever that was. Right? Let's not do that. Let's not do that. You guys cut it out with the comparisons. You guys are not the '06 Colts.
No.
You guys are not the 2013 or whatever year it was Ravens. Not close at all.
Defensively, they can't create sacks. Their corners are no good. They're getting barbecue chickened. It's bad. They can't get off the field on third down. You got the Giants moving the ball. Like, that'll let you know right there.
And you know what's crazy, bro? I wish I was wrong. I actually would like you guys for the team, because some of you fans, man, for the team, I would like you guys to bounce back. Fuck it, man. You guys deserve it. Whatever. Go ahead. Go kill yourself. But the thing is, I actually rather watch the 49ers come back and win a Super Bowl, and I rather watch the Dallas Cowboys somehow figure out to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You guys are like 3rd or 4th in that list for me. Maybe even 5th. Because I think I'd rather see the Ravens or the Bills win the Super Bowl before you guys.
I agree.
So if it wasn't for those 4 teams, I'd be rooting for y'all. Nah, we could bounce back. This, that, and the third. Because obviously my Patriots are anywhere near this, right? But
it's tough. It's tough. They're even struggling offensively.
Yeah,
they don't even use their running back.
You guys,
Swift. Who? Where is he?
Yo, and that's.
I don't understand. You got one of the best offensive lines,
and Swift made a good stride this year. Like Swift, with maybe a little bit more carries and success, we could have put Swift in that A or S tier in running backs. Swift had a pretty decent
in the first half when they were running the ball.
Yeah. Swift was looking high. and somehow it went left.
It's now I don't know what they're doing offensively. The offensive coordinator,
Oh
I
wait, on
don't
top
mean
of
to
that, hold up.
dog them,
Sorry.
but
On top of that, let me go back to the teams that you guys compare you to. Your coach is not Harbaugh.
yeah,
Oh my gosh, what's his coach name for the Colts? He was such a Dungy. Your
yeah,
coach is not Dungy.
yeah,
So this whole comparison thing to just because they had the same record and it was literally the same. It wasn't even the same record. It was like the games that they won and lost aligned with the games of the. Cut it out, bro. Just cut it out.
yeah.
Cut it out. Again, I would like for you guys to turn around. Fuck it. I don't unless I really hate you guys like the Jets. I don't really like want to wish ill or like foul, but when you guys start doing this kind of stuff, nah, you know what? Get bounced off the first playoff series. Not series, but first playoff game. I hope you guys get bounced out. If you guys are coming out and doing this disgusting,
Yeah,
nah, get out of here. Get out of here. I
it's
hope
gonna be tough.
what is it? Oh, actually, if you want to bring up the scenario, because he's about to say who you guys could potentially play in the first round. I hope I hope the because it's two different matchups. I hope these two matchups. I hope they bounce you out in the first game. I hope.
Well, I think it's solidified that they will get Tampa
Okay.
and
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Right.
one they really can't stop the run and Rashard White, he's been hooping this year.
Oh.
So good luck.
And you guys play no
And
defense.
guess what? This is your boy, and I'm gonna talk that talk. But Mike Evans, who's guarding him? Name me a corner that's gonna guard him because he's gonna give you
Yeah.
100
Yeah.
plus.
And
And
I.
Chris Godwin is a blanket.
That's a fact.
I'm sorry.
And I know you guys have injuries. Like I'm not. I'm not. We're not here stupid. We're not stupid. All right.
Injuries. You got a new offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
defensive ends leave.
Yeah. Yeah. That all plays a role. Trust me.
You
That
don't. They
all
don't got
plays
the
a
same
role.
team. They're not.
Now, where I am gonna blame you guys, I don't understand. You guys probably should have made all these changes when you guys were 10-1, not when you're about to go play the last 5 games in the season and to just decide to change your entire. Like first of all, let's do this. What team that's 10-1 starts making big changes like that?
I'm gonna be honest, and I'm and no disrespect to the Eagles, but I don't even think it was a change in lineups or anything. I'm gonna break it down. We talk about what they did with Kansas City.
Mhm.
We talk about what they did with the Bills. We talk about what they did with the Dolphins. But I said this weeks ago. Those stats that I put out with Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen outperformed him. Tua outperformed him. Mahomes outperformed him. But you know what happened? Chiefs lost the game with those two turnovers.
Right.
Bills
Right.
lost that game with that field goal. The Dolphins with Tyreek Hill missing that touchdown cost them. It wasn't because the Eagles beat them.
Yeah.
The
I'm with you.
teams beat
I'm
themselves.
with you.
So
Hey,
guess what? When you run out of luck, when you get a little lucky, and then you go ahead and continue to play the
I
same
feel you.
game over and over again, the chances of you losing get higher and higher. So
And
whatever you're putting out, every game continues to happen. Guess what? You're gonna go on a skid of 1-5 because you've been playing mediocre throughout the whole time you were playing. And I'm gonna just keep it a buck. There's nothing different, no changes. It's been the same. They've just been getting a little lucky and it ran out. That's how I see it.
and to be honest, you guys probably showed that early because game 2 you guys played my Patriots. And if it wasn't for maybe some poor offensive play calling, we could have beat you guys. And look at the season that we had. Then you guys go week
Yes.
whatever the heck
Jets.
and lose to the Jets, right? Yeah. Okay. Anyways, you want to run through the scenario? Should we just move on or?
Oh, it'll be quick. 49ers need to go ahead, take a lose to the Rams, and that'll go ahead and open up what people think would be a great matchup in the playoffs. So, if they were to lose, Cowboys face Green Bay, which that'll be something new. The Rams
Oh,
play
wait, you
Detroit.
know what just hit me?
What happened?
I think I know why they make that game a big deal. You remember the Des Bryant quote unquote catch?
Ah,
It was
the no
Cowboys
catch.
in Green Bay.
It was.
Okay,
That was a no catch.
I'm not gonna get into it.
No, come on. I was trying it. That was a catch. The Rams in Detroit. Oh my god, I freaking candy. Golf and Stafford.
Golf versus Stafford in opposite teams.
And the offensive power of both is great.
What a matchup. What
Karen
a
Williams.
matchup.
Puka Nakua. And you got to go ahead and give it to Cooper Cup.
Yeah.
Those three boys offensively. And then don't forget, go to the other side.
Right.
We got Laporta.
Mm-hmm.
We got Amon-Ra.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Gibbs.
Mm-hmm.
Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop.
That's a matchup. That is a matchup.
I cannot wait if that were to happen.
And the 49ers, they're sitting out all their starters or whatever. So it's a great chance that they lose this game. They already got the number 1 seed, so why do they care?
And the Rams are also, they're sitting out a couple players too. But if you're a fan, you want to see the Rams win.
Correct. And the Rams are gunning. Well, they have to play for seeding. Right or no?
Who?
The Rams? Like, is it the 49ers against the Rams? Is that the game?
The 49ers go against the Rams.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, even though the Rams are sitting a few guys,
That's seeding situation.
You still have to play a game because of seeding. You know what I'm saying? Like, still try to win that game.
Yeah. They're yes and no in a sense. They're playing, but they're resting guys.
Yeah.
Obviously, it messes up with the seeding. But I'm pretty sure if you're the Rams, you want to go ahead and go at Detroit. Now, let's say the 49ers win. The Rams play the Cowboys. And
I mean, that'll be
it'll be a good game. We've seen the Rams play against the Cowboys already in the season. And hey, that's two powered offense that we would like to see. That's gonna be tough. And it's gonna be in in Texas. At their house, which they haven't lost.
Cowboys are undefeated at home.
Undefeated at home. It's gonna be tough for the Rams. Then in the division, Detroit versus Green Bay, that we've seen twice already. Now it's just amplified because it's in the playoffs, which that would be pretty dope. And then the Eagles still have, I think it's pretty much solidified they played Tampa.
Yeah, I think it's a done deal with that. You guys are playing Tampa no matter what.
Yeah.
And you guys could potentially lose that game because right now you guys are on a bad skid. Baker Mayfield, if
healthy.
I think, but I also think Baker is en route of getting a $1 million incentive. I forgot what he has to do. I think he just has to win today to get that $1 million incentive. But listen, he looks like he's fired up. So
most improved, baby.
Yeah.
He's in that category with Hamlin, with Joe Flacco. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
He's definitely I mean, from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Has definitely taken strides in the right direction with his career. And if he can beat the Eagles,
oh yeah,
put a stamp on it.
Yeah, I mean
that is big for his career if he can beat the Eagles and win a playoff game.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
It'll be dope. I'm excited.
Before I get to Ray's quick hits, I do want to mention, kind of go back to NBA. I just looked up something right here. The Celtics, number 1 in the East, have the number 1 hardest or the number 1 strength of schedule from here on out. Who? The Celtics.
Ooh.
So even though they're number 1, I think this is where it's really gonna test you guys. Yeah. You guys have the number 1 most difficult strength of schedule from here on out. The number 2 and the 3 seeds in the East, which is the Bucks, they have the 30th.
Damn.
And the Sixers have the 26th. So you guys, have a pretty easy strength of schedule. If you guys somehow do not dominate, yeah. The Celtics, though, I'm not going to give you any excuses if you don't really capitalize on that. But if you do, that might be pretty good or a nice little momentum to get into the playoffs. I just wanted to throw out that little tidbit. Raise quick hits. Raise quick hits. I'm just going to run through this. We don't really have to debate. I mean, you could chime in if you want to. Number one, I don't know if anybody has noticed. It kind of went under the radar. I didn't hear too many people talk about it. But ESPN and the NCAA striked, or they agreed on a 900, almost a bill,
Damn.
a $920 million broadcast deal. And in this deal, it highlights obviously the women's side of sports when it comes to the NCAA. And a lot, what someone was saying, a lot that fueled this. I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was last year or 2 years ago in the NCAA tournament. They showed the difference between the men's like weight training room and then the women's weight training room. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because of that video going viral, moves had to be made, right? And a lot of this funding, obviously, the rich just get richer. Let's just be honest. Now, like I said, the focus is the women's side of sports, and I really do think it should be focused because my second quick hit is right now, women's basketball and all levels are at an all-time high. And if you are not paying attention, if you're not watching, you are missing out tremendously.
Yeah.
The last 2 seasons, now we've gotten a lot. Okay, for my females out there, please, 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 please do not take this in any way negatively. Okay? I'm not saying there hasn't been another great season before, but the last two WNBA seasons, come on, bro. It's been exciting. This whole year, the whole back and forth between the Liberty and the Aces. I know
Yeah.
last year the Aces, I forgot who the Aces beat last year. But the Aces will end up with, I mean, they're back-to-back champs, right? That was I mean, it was also cool that New York had a team that was on top,
Yeah.
so that was kind of fun. I think the WNBA finals was like it was the highest it's ever been when it comes to viewership.
Yeah.
The high, and that says something, Depending on what the numbers is, that says something. On top of that, get to the college level. We have Caitlin Clark is literally
lighting it
averaging
up.
a triple double at this point.
Yeah.
She is lighting it up, and I don't want to even just harp on her, bro. Oh my gosh, I had it and I lost it. The top 5 leading scorers, I know South Carolina has one of them, right? Or I think it's USC. Oh my, if you're not watching women's college basketball, it is just fun.
Yeah.
It is just all right fun, and it's everywhere. We have Paige and UConn. We say this all the time. CC and Iowa, those two twins in TCU. What's up? The one girl in Oregon, she's very under the radar. I keep saying this every week, man. That girl in Oregon, she has my freaking heart. Let me tell you. Hit me up.
Ooh.
let me not do that. Sorry. Listen, bro. Actually, that was kind of like that was foul for me, right?
Yeah, that was
Like
a
I'm
gross.
trying to like hype up women and hear me out.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
over here
yeah.
catcalling and
Come on.
my bad. That was ill advised from me. But anyways,
Ooh.
back to the topic at hand, which is women's basketball right now is at an all time high, in my opinion. We need to continue giving it the support. I also feel like we need to get support, or they need to they need to get support all across the board. I don't really like, right? And this is the little negative part about it. I don't like the whole we need support, we need support, we need support. Our dollars need to be up, this, that, and the third. I don't really see. I see the women asking a lot for support, but I don't see the women showing the support.
Yeah. The women are asking the men.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just not seeing it, but the way I'm seeing it, you guys are asking for the support and not really supporting. Just saying. Except for who I think it was. What's her name? Kaylani, the artist?
Yeah.
Bro, Kaylani, give Kaylani the award for women's support or whatever. Kaylani has made sure she's been at, bro, I've seen Kaylani in WNBA games, WNBA final games. I've seen her in NCAA games. I've seen her in women's tennis matchups. Kaylani is making it a point. Bro, I'm here to support my
Yeah.
females. All right? A lot of y'all need to follow suit.
If you have a platform and you're a woman, you got to go out there
Come
and
on, come
support.
on, bro. Don't be out here and asking.
And I understand it may not even have to be financially, but you putting out
Yes,
yourself
yes.
in that arena,
Just think about, and Kaylani's posting on Instagram. So think about all of Kaylani's demographics that follow her are watching her go to these events.
correct.
Simple, simple.
Platform is so key, so big. So when you have that, you got to go ahead and use it.
Capitalize on that. You really do.
Um,
You got to capitalize on that.
Especially if you want to make strides in what you
Bro,
want to create.
we come here almost every week, me, EJ, and I'm gonna say you as well. I know you have. Maybe you're not as vocal as me and EJ, but we come in here and almost every week talk about Caitlin Clark and talk
Yeah.
about WNBA. Actually, I'm not wearing it today, but I actually had a shirt with what's her name? Oh my gosh, Sabrina Ionescu. I have a Sabrina Ionescu shirt that I was gonna wear today, but I switched out of it, and maybe I should have just kept it. But listen, God, gotta show support in any way, shape, or form. Support is support.
Yeah.
We can't ask for it if we're not going to show it.
Yep.
That's all I'm going to say. Connor Bedard, or however you pronounce your last name, and sorry if I'm chopping it up. Kudos to you. We've been in here talking about you almost week in and week out. He becomes the youngest All-Star
Yeah.
selection or whatever in NHL history. Kudos. All right, me and EJ from the beginning we've been saying, bro, check this guy out.
Yeah.
He is one of them. He is one of them. He's now the youngest All-Star to ever be selected in NHL in all history, and it shows. The guy is really lighting it
Yeah.
up.
Kudos for him.
Wizards owner Ted Leononson, sorry, Ted. Somehow he's contemplating and moving the Washington Wizards to Virginia. Whatever. I, I'm not trying to see an NBA team with the name Virginia across their
Yeah.
jerseys. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's pretty cool that they're in Washington. I have no clue.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not like the Nets where they moved, even though I wish they were still in New Jersey. Moving the Nets to Brooklyn sounds a little bit better than moving the Wizards out of DC into Virginia. Like,
That's a downgrade.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Okay, our favorite part of the show, baseball, and what we always talk about. You guessed it, the New York Yankees, right? I'm really here just to talk about two news about the New York Yankees, and anybody in the Yankees organization that is listening to this, please. I know you guys keep talking about, oh, we got a lot of big moves. Just make the freaking moves. I don't know what the heck you guys are waiting for. We see
Yeah.
these rumors happening, and you guys are not doing anything. One of the things that I just saw on my phone earlier that I said I gotta mention, it literally said Yankees are looking to make a big splash into rotation with a big name. And I'm here to say the big names that I've been continuously hearing about
Yeah.
is Snell, Hader, Burns, and now for some odd reason, I don't know what's going on with Baltimore and not trying to make the trade, but somehow we're also in contention of getting Dylan Cease.
Wow.
I don't know
Didn't
if
see that
I don't
coming.
know if Baltimore is dropping the ball there. I also heard that the Mets are trying to get, and I know the Mets got a lot of money. The Mets are also trying to get to Dylan Cease. But whatever. I'm here to talk about how the Yankees are in big contention with all these big names for our rotation and or closer with Hader, and we need it. Just make the moves. Okay, we lost Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Like we dropped that ball, right? And I know how we dropped it because this guy said something, and I'm like, yo. You can tell that these people probably don't know the Asian culture very well because the way this guy anyways, I'm not gonna get into it. Go get Snell. Snell even said, bro, Snell was in contentions of signing with Seattle, with San Fran, with Boston, right? Because Boston eliminated Chris Sale. And Snell, out of all those news, comes out and goes, yeah, but I would really like to play for the New York Yankees. What more do we need?
Yeah.
Go get it.
If he said that, I would have been at his house knocking on our door like,
On
here's the
top,
contract.
yeah, bro, we haven't even spent money anyways. We have the money. All
We
our
got
moves
the
we
money.
made so far have been trades. We literally have spent the least amount of dollars this entire off season, which is weird if you think about picking up Soto, picking
Yeah.
up Verdugo, all our pickups and trades that we've made, and we still haven't spent a dime.
Yep.
So we have the money. Go get Snell. If you really want to go drop the money for Hader, go ahead. I get that he's asking for a lot of money. If he's that expensive, then go get Burns. I don't really see us getting Cease because I think we have to trade for Cease.
Yeah.
And I really don't know who you
We
guys are going to try to trade
Yeah, I
for.
was about to say we probably don't have any trade value to give him.
Last but not least for the New York Yankees, it seems like All right, there's been a lot of rumors that we really want Cody Bellinger.
Yeah.
Bellinger got stopped at I forgot at what airport it was. I think it was in LA. So LAX. Some guy stopped him and asked him a few questions about the New York Yankees, and I quote, Belly goes, "They haven't hit me up. I wish they did."
Wow.
So even Cody Bellinger,
Is
right,
out there.
is out there wanting to play for New York, and we are here. Now, listen, I'm not gonna say the moves that we made are kind of impressive. I like them, but we got the money. We didn't get Yamamoto, so if we got the money,
Yeah.
and these guys want to play for us and could be potential World Series pieces for us,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
Yeah. Why are we sitting on our ass so long?
Go get them, bro. Just go get them, please. Just go get them. Go get them.
March is right around the corner. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
fam. Like
confused.
eventually, the pitchers and the catchers need a report, right? For because obviously they show up before all the other players for spring training. How about we go get our pitchers so they're there on
Yeah.
time?
So yep.
Like, how about we go do that?
And they're checked thoroughly
Yeah.
for the season.
Let's not have another Frankie Montas situation. All right,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
let's not do
Yeah.
that. That's all I have, bro.
Yeah. No.
That's all I have.
I would love to have those two on our team, especially Belly, freaking lefty,
Yeah.
right porch.
If we get Belly though, please somehow find a way to get Stanton out of there.
100%.
Somehow, I don't care. If he plays well somewhere else, that's cool. I just can't deal with his injuries, year in and year out. That will conclude this episode. To me, a very jam-packed episode. I think, and I think you did an awesome job to start off the episode. I was
Oh,
caught
thank
off
you,
guard
thank you.
with that. That was
Yeah.
kind of cool. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But that being said, as always, gang, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys like the video. Thank you for everybody that got us to
Yeah.
100 subscribers. But we ask you, if you aren't a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button. Just slam it. Hit stick that bitch. It takes 2 seconds of your day. If you aren't a subscriber, your driver's license says Pooty on it. I can guarantee it. If you show it on camera, I can guarantee
100.
it says Pooty.
Yep.
And comment down below if you guys want to talk that ish. If you guys got anything you guys want us to talk about, elaborate on. Listen, I've had mad people tell me, "Yo, talk about Lamar Jackson and his MVP season. Talk about the Yankees. Talk about this." Yo, I actually very, very much appreciate it. But put it in the comments and help us out
Yeah.
tremendously. Other than that, gang, we'll catch you guys next time. We love y'all.
Peace.